Okay, so going off where we left off with creating our storyboard, our setup and everything, I just really went through here, and this is not, my drawings, I was just my organisms. My setup conflict, I just wanted to create 4 boards. So basically he encountered an enemy, he squashed the enemy, and now he's the king. He got a cool little crown underwater or wherever he exists at. And then the last actually kind of zooms out. That's what I want the camera to do, so I kind of made notation of it. So what I like to do whenever I do these little boards like this is just me, you may find alternate ways that you find enjoyable for you, is I like to kind of just crop out the board. So what I did is I just used my crop tool here and just kind of cropped out the panel and just created these images on the fly. You can make them exact, I didn't for this one. The prettier the better, obviously, but there we go. So what that did is that created, you can see I saved my images right here. So I'm going to bring these into After Effects. And you don't necessarily have to do this in After Effects. After Effects is good because you can actually kind of start animating other elements in there. Say if you actually imported these things as different assets, you could start parallaxing those pieces together to kind of like, say if I just saved these two separately, you could actually like really embellish up your storyboard and kind of like make these kind of move together while the timing's going on, while the story passes by, to kind of almost tell a motion graphic storyboard. That's getting a little advanced and just a little bit more time, what you're looking for. Some people are really into that kind of stuff, start showing different elements. But for right now, I just want to like put all 4 of my scenes or all 4 of my little boards in there. So I'm going to create new composition, and I want this to be, this can be anything, just a 1280-720 for right now, because those images are really small and they're going to be square, and I'm going to see black lines anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. I only want this thing to be 20 seconds, so you can always change this on the fly too. So I'm going to import my pictures. Control, Control, Control. So then I labeled them. Or, you could always have shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, however you stay organized. So my setup is going to go first. And notice the picture basically is going to span the entire time. That's cool though, because it's just a still image, and I want to be able to crop that. So I want my setup on top, I want my conflict next, I want my climax after that, then my resolution. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select all these, and I'm going to pull these out even so they're all got an even scale. I mean, they're not exactly the same size either way, but it's not really, I'm not really worried about it at this moment. Like I said, if I was presenting this for a cartoon pitch, it would definitely be probably one of the cleanest storyboard animatics you could. But a client, it's kind of depending on how much time you're going to put into it and how much you charge them for time. So always something to consider. And plus, too, it's a general, just gives you get your point across. Sometimes rough is better because they know that changes can be made. So this thing is going 20 seconds now, and if you just mash it, nothing's going to happen. So all you're going to see is that. So what I'm doing is just, you can take these like sliders, these layers here basically, and say you want your establishing shot to be a good solid 3-4 seconds, because you want to be able to like see him come up over the mountain. The camera will be moving that way, so that's cool. The conflict is obviously going to be probably one of your longest images, so we'll make that that one. Then this climax where he defeats him will probably be pretty short. So now just kind of sit back and just kind of think about, what's going to be going on in that shot. How long will the conflict be? Obviously there'll be some fighting here. Then that's probably actually going to be pretty fast. I think honestly with this, the establishing shot will probably be a little longer, and the actual conflict would be probably the longest. Kind of move this one down here. So then you kind of think about it, if you have notation, then you could be talking about it to say, okay, now the conflict is going on. Now he's encountered an enemy. How's he going to fight the enemy? He is going to rear up and he's going to actually squish him down. And then he is king of the land. So it's a good way to kind of start getting in mindset of what you're doing. And say like you could do stuff like this, especially in After Effects. This is going to be a zoom out kind of. So basically what you could do is you could start here and you could go ahead and start putting a little motion to the actual images to give it that feel of how things are going to be starting to roll, even if you have movement like this. Like your camera's going to be going over the mountain, but just to kind of start understanding the feel of how things are going to go. See, I'm going to key in my scale, and then I just kind of want to bring it kind of into the shot a little bit, slowly. Keyframe it again. Start adding some movement to it. Did I not move it back? Oh, I'm doing the scale. I'm sorry. Position there. This kind of moves. And then you can kind of do your transitions, how you want to do it. Take your opacity down. Make some little fast opacity swipes. Let's have the camera move. He would be moving into shot, and then they would go to the other scene where he would see the guy. Then on moving to the very last establishing shot, where the picture would zoom out and the credits would roll, and you could put credits in there. The good thing about After Effects 2 is you can upload audio to kind of go ahead and get an idea of how your audio may run. I have this source here. Sound Bible is always what I usually go to for like little Foley sounds. Like there might be like little creepy background music kind of going on. You can kind of like look at your animatic and then like listen to the music and see if it kind of fits the tone. If there's like a fight scene, like a swipe, you can usually find stuff here like that. I was going to download this creepy background. MP3. Download. I don't want to use the alternate one. They've kind of changed this website up some. No, I don't want to use that tool. Maybe you have to download their downloader now. I'm not really sure. It used to not be like that. It used to be just click on here and kind of download it. But anyway, I wanted to bring in some audio there. Let me pause this real quick and get some audio from somewhere. Okay, so my browser was blocking sound by way. It's got this ad up here. I don't want to use this. I just want to like click on the MP3 thing. So to put it to a folder. Put it in my UNCW folder. But some of these are, most of the sound Bibles is basically free of use. Very rarely do they do like royalty things on there. You just got to check it through and don't download the ad. But I've been using the Sound Bible for a few years. They just revamped the website, so it's a little bit more confusing in terms of the downloader, which it wasn't working on my Chrome. I had to use my Internet Explorer. So yeah, that's a good one to use. I know they got a huge library there. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import another file, which is going to be my sound effect. So you'll see the audio. If you click on it down here, you can see the wave form. So say like if you have some Foley sounds, and what Foley sounds are basically footsteps, any kind of sound effects that basically are created that are not like music for the soundtrack, like a swoosh sound. So you could add all these down here if you wanted to. And you may not be able to hear my audio through the recording, but it is playing. But it's just like an ambient background style thing. It's playing, and you can kind of adjust your audio to your actual animatic, add sound effects, stuff like that. Because this will be the way that you'll actually do this with, your final, their final production whenever you're finishing it up. Sometimes I like to do this just for animatic purposes, but honestly, I have more luck working in Premiere with the audio, and Premiere is just a basic video editing program. So it's like once I get everything done, I'll take it over to Premiere. But to get the timing right and everything, sometimes it's best to bring these things into After Effects so you can kind of see the waveform and see where the hits are going to be at. Like if there's going to be an abrupt change right there, like a symbol hit or something, whenever he encounters the enemy, you'll know that's where it's going to go at. So if you're presenting it, you would know how to add the audio. And you just got to be mindful of the levels. You crank it up, your audio is going to, you don't want to be blowing anything out, which is why After Effects is not really an audio-based editing program, but it does do the job pretty good. And this works as the same when you're done rendering this out. This works as the same as the rendering I've shown in previous tutorials with After Effects. The audio is going to come through with it and everything. So that is kind of how you would go ahead and set up your animatic timing for your storyboard. Use your storyboard to create your animatic for timing purposes and stuff like that. And use this, to give to animators or for yourself, or to create pitches for certain ideas that you have, or if you're collaborating with other people, how you can use After Effects to kind of show a little bit of motion with, still images to kind of make this thing work. So I appreciate it, and I will post all the links below. Thanks a lot for watching.